Lads, I wanted to be done recording for today. I'm just back from pickup and I was like, just gonna go to bed. Watch the Sky, well, get a bit of sleep, then watch the Sky game, make a video on that, but I have to make a video on this after what I saw it on Twitter. Not Rudy Gobert, it's obviously about Rudy Gobert, but Draymond Green has now tripled down on the Rudy Gobert slander. I get it. You don't like the fact that Rudy Gobert has more defensive players of the year than you, and you think you're a better defender than him. I get that. And there's an argument to be made for that. I'm not going to lie. But still, like, surely that whole thing should have been squashed when you tried to put him in a sleeper hold earlier in the year. But Draymond Green, any chance he gets, he will just insult Rudy Gobert. He went on his podcast today. So, if you watched the Dallas versus a Minnesota Timberwolves game last night, what you probably came away with is, and it's very difficult to guard Kyrie for 4 quarters and still have the energy to be able to go up and down play offense at the elite rate that he needs to play offense. Like, that's difficult to do. You definitely learned, like, that is one thing that people will have learned. Another thing people will have learned is that Luka Doncic is a hell of a player. And a lot of people would have learned as well that Rudy Gobert is a seriously important part of this Minnesota Timberwolves team. That his defense is huge, and the fact that Dallas shot 80% from the paint when he was off the floor, and like 50% when he was on the floor, and that if they're going to win, Rudy Gobert is going to be an extremely important part. Not Draymond. According to Draymond Green, actually, you know what? The guy who basically stopped everything in the paint was the highest plus minus on the team. He was the problem, according to Draymond. Rudy Gobert is always a problem. He literally said Timberwolves should bench Rudy Gobert. They should bench Rudy Gobert. Like, as good as Naz Reid has been, Naz Reid and Cat are so much worse together than Rudy Gobert and Cat. Rudy Gobert is one of the most important players. Like, after Anthony Edwards, it probably goes as far as importance. Probably goes Edwards, Gobert, Cat, McDaniels, Conley, as far as their starting 5 goes. All of them play a role. But Rudy Gobert is their defense. When Rudy Gobert is off the floor, as great as McDaniels is, as great as these other players are, they're not as good defensively when he's off the floor, especially against Dallas. And especially because Dallas have rim running bigs. Dallas have pogo stick, pick and roll guys who catch lobs. Like, they've literally got lob threats on the floor who will demolish, like Luka and Kyrie. Being able to find those guys will destroy them if they're allowed to do it. But no, not Draymond Green. And the annoying thing is that Draymond Green is so smart about the sport of basketball. Like, Draymond Green knows how effective those like rim rolling centers can be. Because obviously how good JaVale McGee was with the Warriors. And Lively and Gafford are better than Warriors, are as good, if not better than Warriors JaVale McGee. And then, as well as that, he knows the importance of a rim protector because he played with Andrew Bogut. Andrew Bogut is a worse rim protector than Draymond Green, but he was a rim protector. And like, Draymond Green credits a lot of his defense from Andrew Bogut. So it's the biggest reason why Draymond, I think, is going to fail miserably when it comes to media, is he lets his personal biases more than anyone. Like, everyone on media has their personal biases, and everyone just in life has biases one way or another for whatever reason. But Draymond cannot see past that. Like, he couldn't even watch a game where it was so clear how important Rudy Gobert is, and his conclusion from a game where Rudy Gobert was probably the most important player for the Timberwolves yesterday, just because of how much better they were on the floor with him on the floor than without him, and come to the conclusion that slow-mo should play over him. I'm sorry, not every team is the Warriors. Not every team needs a 6'6" center. Not every team is like... That's not the answer. I know it worked with you guys, but going small is not the answer. The Timberwolves beat the Nuggets because they were bigger than them. Because they were bigger. The Timberwolves have zagged. Everyone going small, everyone going space, and the Timberwolves zagged and went with 2 centers. And it worked because Cat is a center who can shoot from the perimeter and take guys off the dribble from the perimeter. But they went with the double center lineup. And Dallas obviously just ran with one center. And playing Cat as your rim protector isn't going to end well. It's just not. As good as Cat was on Jokic, Cat's physical, and he got physical with Jokic. He made it tough for him, and he had Rudy Gobert in help. But, like, Cat couldn't guard Jokic. Like, and also, Cat's not a rim protector. So it is just, for somebody so smart, and this is the reason why I think it's always malicious, is that Draymond Green is one of the higher IQ players, if not one of the highest IQ players in the NBA. So it's all calculated. It's all calculated. And, like, if we see Draymond Green becoming one of these, like, talking heads in media, he's going to be one of the, by the way, we talk about guys from, like, the previous era that when we say they insult current basketball because they want to hype up their own era, and I think that's actually one of the worst things for the hype of the game, refusing to actually look at the sport in a positive light because you want to preserve your legacy. Draymond Green's going to do exactly that. Draymond Green is going to be the guy that is going to be, in a couple of years, saying Cooper Flagg would have never survived in his era. Saying AJ Dibansta would never have survived in his era. Whatever 15-year-old now ends up being a superstar. And when you look at the kids now, the talent level is better than it ever was. I don't know if it'll translate, but there's going to be a stage where every 7-footer is expected to shoot the 3-ball, where these guys are going to be unicorns, where Wemby's may not be the only unicorn type player, where the game's going to evolve. And I know for a fact Draymond Green is going to be the guy who is sitting on his ass talking about how this era is so soft that they couldn't have done it in his era, when in reality, like, I'm not even going to call Draymond Green a tough guy, because it doesn't take a tough guy to assault someone and kick a few guys in the nuts and sucker punch guys when he knows nothing's going to happen. Like, there's a reason why when Isaiah Stewart looked like he was about to do something, Draymond Green stepped away. There's a reason why he's obviously Steven Adams is the only player that might have fought him, but it's a bit different when you kick a guy in the nuts twice and walk off. Rudy Gobert is never going to do anything in a headlock. He hit Nurkic with a spinning back fist. He's curb stomped Domantas Sabonis. Like, he's gonna talk about all this stuff to preserve his own legacy, and he's already doing it right now. Like, he's already trying to change the narrative around Rudy Gobert, that Rudy Gobert is a terrible defender, so that people will always look back and be like, oh, the best defender this generation was Draymond. Draymond has been robbed for all these defense player of the years. But in reality, people are watching the sport of basketball and it's not working. With how well Rudy Gobert is playing, it's just not working. And you know it's bad when people hate Rudy Gobert, but they're defending him. They're defending him because of how ridiculous what Draymond Green is saying. But yeah, I strive to hate someone as passionately as Draymond Green hates Rudy Gobert. And in reality, I'm not even sure if Draymond Green hates Rudy Gobert. I genuinely think it's a case of Draymond believing he's the best defensive player of this era, Rudy Gobert winning the 4 defensive players of the year, and Draymond wanting to do everything in his power, whether it be in the media, whether it be on the court, whether it just be in general, to be able to swing the narrative that he's actually a better defender than Draymond. And I actually think there's an argument to be made there, but this is not the right way to do it. And that's what I think is happening right here.